Over the years, the infamous Hells Angels motorbike gang has developed quite a reputation.
An alleged member of the Hells Angels motorcycle club appeared in federal court this afternoon.
His arrest follows yesterday's FBI raid of a North Providence mill complex where he lives.
54-year-old Douglas Leadham was arraigned today on multiple counts of drug and weapons charges.
Frequently being associated with negative stereotypes, such as outlaws, criminals, drug traffickers, and more.
We want to make sure that they aren't targeted so that the public can stay safe, but we also know that the Hells Angels are perpetrators of violence.
These names don't fully represent the range of illegal activity these individuals may be involved in, from drug trafficking and weapon possession to assault and even murder. Despite their notorious reputation, many of these motorcyclists might also be viewed as contemporary warriors navigating a challenging and frequently dangerous world. In 1948, as former World War II veterans dealt with the monotony of peacetime and snapped up surplus military motorcycles at bargain prices, they laid the foundation for what would become the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, HAMC. The name Hells Angels itself was borrowed from the moniker of daring bomber squadrons, rooting the club deeply in military tradition. Like storied warriors, they have forged a path defined by an unyielding code. Few understand this world better than Ralph "Sonny" Barger, former president of the Oakland, California chapter. In his book, Hells Angel: The Life and Times of Sonny Barger, he reveals that while the HAMC strives to operate with minimal rules, those they do uphold are crucial for the club's survival. Breach these essential codes and the consequences are dire. Excommunication might be the least of their worries. Some pay the ultimate price. Members have to be voted in. In a world where many aspire to the edgy allure and tough reputation of the Hells Angels, only a select few prove worthy of stepping into this exclusive circle. Despite the allure of notoriety and respect, the path to becoming a full-fledged member of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, HAMC, is anything but swift. The club takes its time to evaluate an individual's commitment and loyalty meticulously. Only after a grueling period can a candidate even be considered for membership. Once deemed trustworthy, the entire chapter gathers to cast their votes. Membership is granted only if the candidate receives overwhelming approval with no objections, as noted by the Vancouver Sun. The road to reaching that decisive vote is long and challenging. According to Neil Hall's Hell to Pay, Hells Angels versus the $1 Million Rat, a hopeful candidate must have known a full member personally for at least 5 years before they are deemed worthy of consideration. This long-standing connection is just the beginning. As outlined in the Vancouver Sun, these acquaintances can strive to become official friends, provided they have a sponsor and secure unanimous approval in an initial chapter vote. Yet, this is merely the start of a careful, drawn-out process. Successful candidates advance through stages, first becoming hang-around and then prospects, each phase demanding years of loyalty and proving their mettle. It's a testament to the club's cautious nature, ensuring only the truly committed earn their place in the HAMC before the final vote for full membership is held. Patches and vests are part of a strict dress code. Like the warriors of old, the Hells Angels burst into the fray, their heraldry and insignia proudly displayed for all to see. These modern-day knights of the road have cleverly transformed their iconic imagery into a powerful trademark, ensuring their legendary patches are protected under copyright law, as detailed on the Hells Angels website. This savvy approach means they need not always rely on intimidation to defend their symbols. The exclusive right to wear the Hells Angels insignia is fiercely guarded, and outsiders are strictly forbidden from donning these sacred emblems. Many adhere to this rule, whether out of fear of legal consequences or simply to avoid a confrontation. In Hells Angel: The Life and Times of Sonny Barger, Barger makes it clear that members are willing to fight to the death to defend their club and its symbols. Anyone caught wearing a patch without being a member is sure to face serious repercussions. Hells Angels members wear their iconic logo and the death head winged skull insignia with immense pride on their vests and jackets wherever they go. Sergeant Jacques Lemieux, a Canadian expert on motorcycle gangs, notes that this is a way for the HAMC to assert its dominance as the world's most powerful biker gang, according to the Vancouver Sun. Furthermore, as the Duluth News-Tribune reports, it is an unwritten rule that the members must wear their patches and vests whenever they gather. By doing so, they reinforce their unwavering commitment to the club and its enduring legacy. Members always back their brothers. In the way soldiers rely on their comrades amidst the chaos of battle, the Hells Angels trust in the unshakable support of their fellow bikers when trouble looms. Former Hells Angels President George Christie explains that their cornerstone rule is to unwaveringly back other members, even when it leads to violent and bloody episodes as recounted by history. Christie learned the significance of this brotherhood mantra long before he became a full-fledged Hells Angel. In 1976, while still a prospect for the Los Angeles chapter, he witnessed an incident that tested his loyalty. A brash outsider had crossed paths with the club president, Old Man John, and paid the price. With fierce resolve, John struck the man and brandished a knife, ready to escalate the situation as he looked into Christie's eyes for reassurance. Christie's unflinching readiness to support John's decisions earned him the president's approval. Satisfied with the recruit's allegiance, John stripped the impostor of his jacket and unceremoniously expelled him from the bar. The code of silence is mandatory. Club meetings within the Hells Angels are crucial gatherings where members tackle important business matters. However, these discussions steer clear of any illegal activities. The security of the club is paramount, so such topics are completely off limits in official conversations, as George Christie explains via history. While the Hells Angels don't see themselves as a criminal organization, they acknowledge that some members might engage in activities outside the law. To protect the club's reputation, discussions of these activities are strictly forbidden during meetings. Christie suggests that law enforcement agencies label the club as criminal because it's easier to target the entire organization rather than pinpoint specific individuals. This perspective is reasonable, considering the Hells Angels are notably difficult to infiltrate, as reported by the Review Journal. The club's rigorous membership process, structured hierarchy, and stringent rules about permissible topics create formidable barriers for law enforcement. These carefully crafted restrictions ensure that the club remains a tight-knit fortress against outside scrutiny, preserving its enigmatic aura and internal solidarity. Members ride together for information. As dedicated motorcyclists, the Hells Angels embrace the thrill of the open road, spending innumerable hours riding with a display of unity that is both formidable and captivating. Their structure, reminiscent of a paramilitary organization as reported by the Vancouver Sun, is most apparent during their rides. Sergeant Mark Baker of the Minnesota State Patrol attests, via the Duluth News Tribune, to the disciplined order they maintain. At the helm, the chapter president sets the pace, assuming the lead position even when it involves greater exposure to potential danger. Following tradition, the vice president takes the second spot, trailed by the road captain and the sergeant of arms. However, the ride transforms into a spirited yet controlled frenzy beyond these officers. Sonny Barger, in his autobiography, paints this vivid picture. A free-for-all drag race ensues from that point, with members passionately competing for position. The well-defined hierarchy persists, but beyond the initial 10 slots, members blend into a fluid progression, while prospects dutifully secure the rear, acutely aware of their standing within the pack. The Hells Angels maintain a disciplined formation to uphold order on the road. As Sergeant Baker explains, once this structure is in place, it becomes an implicit rule for all riders to follow, ensuring safety and coherence even amid the chaos. Their code of brotherhood dictates a steadfast commitment to one another. If a member encounters trouble with law enforcement, the entire group often halts, a testament to their unyielding solidarity. Such instances showcase not just their commitment to each other, but also their ability to transform a ride into a profound statement of loyalty and identity, solidifying their reputation as a force that rides with purpose and unity. Members cannot work for a prison or be a cop. Aspiring to join the Hells Angels involves more than just a passion for motorcycles. There are unwavering disqualifications to navigate. Neil Hall's Hell to Pay outlines rigid barriers. Individuals with histories of child molestation or rape face lifetime exclusion from the group. This zero-tolerance policy reflects the club's firm stance on certain crimes. Equally, any ties to law enforcement are a deal-breaker. The club excludes anyone who has even considered or pursued a career as a police officer or a prison guard. According to their rules, simply applying for such roles is enough to make someone permanently unfit to don the iconic patch. These strict exclusions likely serve to grant members more liberty to partake in activities that might lie in legal gray areas. Hall mentions that while criminal activity is off the agenda during club meetings, the freedom from law enforcement ties allows members to go about their business without unnecessary scrutiny. However, the deeper reason lies in the club's core value: loyalty. The Hells Angels place immense importance on undivided allegiance. As pointed out by Demons Row TV, they categorically reject anyone who has sworn an oath to another entity, even one as esteemed as law enforcement. This unwavering demand for loyalty ensures each member's fidelity to the club above all else, thereby maintaining the integrity and solidarity of their organization. By enforcing these rigid disqualifications, the Hells Angels guard the essence of their brotherhood, ensuring that every member is dedicated to the collective. In this way, they preserve a united front, upholding their ideals and protecting the sanctity of their tightly knit community. This exclusivity not only builds trust among members, but strengthens the club's enigmatic reputation as a cohesive, albeit controversial force. Members can't be snitches or rats. Within the Hells Angels, few actions are more reviled than betraying the club's secrets to law enforcement. Neil Hall's Hell to Pay highlights the HAMC's stringent policy against allowing snitches and informants into their ranks. This exclusion serves as a strategic defense against external threats. However, the contempt for traitors extends far beyond formal policy. Many club members harbor more disdain for these turncoats than for convicted felons, who are also not welcome in their ranks. Sonny Barger, in his book Hell's Angel, vividly depicts these betrayers. He characterizes them as loud-talking bullies who revel in the club's power, loudly professing their eternal loyalty amidst members. Yet, when faced with crisis, these same individuals are often the first to abandon their brothers, revealing club secrets to protect themselves. In the world of the Hells Angels, where brotherhood and loyalty are cornerstone values, such betrayal is considered the ultimate sin. For Barger and the Angels, a rat is the true enemy, and this sentiment permeates the very ethos of the club. This deep-seated aversion helps ensure that the club remains a close-knit community bonded by unyielding loyalty and trust. By building barriers against those who might betray them, the Hells Angels cultivate an environment where solidarity and mutual respect are paramount. This approach not only fortifies their internal bonds, but also safeguards their enigmatic legacy. Through these measures, the club strives to maintain its sense of unity, ensuring that each member remains committed to the collective interests of the brotherhood, thus upholding their reputation as a formidable and cohesive entity in the face of external pressures. Always a Hells Angel. The Hells Angels have crafted a demanding initiation process to nurture unwavering loyalty and commitment, ensuring that members are dedicated for the long haul. With no official path to retirement, once a member joins, they are expected to remain part of this brotherhood for life, essentially becoming family. As their website notes, when a member passes away, fellow brothers come together to honor his memory, a tradition that underscores the enduring bonds within the club. Sonny Barger, in Hell's Angel, recalls how, in the early days, police mocked these bikers' extensive funeral processions. Now, such tributes are a respected practice observed worldwide. However, the club does acknowledge that some members have been forced to distance themselves, often due to legal issues or breaches of the club's stringent code. For certain individuals, mere expulsion isn't seen as sufficient punishment. Many have even undergone the painful removal of tattoos bearing the Hells Angels symbols, as reported by the Duluth News Tribune. Additionally, there are cases where members opt to resign voluntarily, requiring them to return all items adorned with the Hells Angels name or the Death Head insignia, as cited by Britannica. An illustrative example is George Christie's exit. Christie believed he was leaving on good terms, but was later blindsided to learn he had been classified as out bad rather than in good standing, as he shared with Vice. This designation effectively severed all connections with members he once regarded as brothers, highlighting the stark finality faced by those who depart from the club. Such scenarios underscore the gravity of membership within the Hells Angels and the irreversible consequences of leaving, whether by choice or force. This culture of absolute loyalty and the severe repercussions for faltering ensures that the club maintains its cohesion and mystique, emphasizing the profound impact of its brotherhood even when members face the ultimate break from it. Never talk to the media. The Hells Angels are fiercely protective of their privacy, going to great lengths to ensure their inner workings remain shrouded in secrecy. Members are strictly prohibited from speaking to the media, as reported by the Duluth News Tribune, which highlights the club's commitment to safeguarding personal and organizational information. In his autobiography, Sonny Barger confirms that many aspects of their code will forever remain undisclosed to the public, reinforcing this veil of secrecy. This stance was evident during their 2009 summer rally in Carlton, Minnesota. With about 500 members gathered, the club's aversion to media attention was on full display. Reporters present at the event observed that whenever they attempted to engage, the bikers would immediately cease conversation or turn away, effectively shutting down any interaction. This deliberate avoidance underlines their dedication to maintaining confidentiality and underscores the tightly knit and secretive nature of the brotherhood. Members must attend club meetings. For the Hells Angels, their clubhouses are more than just meeting spots. They're sanctuaries of brotherhood where the pulse of the group beats strongest. Central to this hub of camaraderie is the weekly gathering known as church, where attendance is not just encouraged, but essential to membership, as noted by history. Within these walls, the members delve into crucial business matters, ranging from strategies for handling police and media scrutiny to addressing personal issues within the ranks. George Christie highlights that these meetings can turn intensely personal, especially when discipline is required for problems like substance abuse. Attending church is a powerful demonstration of loyalty and respect for the club. The commitment extends to both members and prospects, as emphasized in Hells Angels by Yves Levine. Absenteeism carries a cost. Missing a meeting without a valid excuse can result in fines ranging from $50 to $100, a detail Sonny Barger reveals in Hells Angel. This system reinforces the importance of presence, ensuring every member is continually engaged and accountable to their brothers. Only men can become members. While women aren't completely barred from the world of the Hells Angels, their roles are distinctly defined. According to Sonny Barger in Hells Angel, women, particularly as wives and girlfriends dubbed old ladies, are a vital presence at the clubhouse. They immerse themselves in the lifestyle, often accompanying their partners on the road. In the club's formative years, old ladies even don the cherished patches, helping to spread the insignia's recognition. However, official membership remains out of reach for women. They can only attend meetings on special occasions, a restriction rooted in the club's male-centric philosophy. As Barger candidly notes via BBC, the Hells Angels embrace their male chauvinist reputation, believing they have the right to maintain it. Despite this, the club recognizes the strategic advantages women can offer. Sergeant Jacques Lemieux, as reported by the Vancouver Sun, reveals that women have been instrumental in intelligence gathering and infiltrating law enforcement agencies and rival gangs. These female operatives have held positions as air traffic controllers and even within the military, providing crucial information that strengthens the club's operations and influence. Hard drug use and drug burns are forbidden. The Hells Angels have never shied away from admitting their fondness for drugs like weed, as chronicled by history, embracing it as part of their lifestyle. Despite this openness, the club enforces certain guidelines to curb the potential chaos that comes with drug use. Harder substances, particularly heroin and needles, are strictly off limits, rooted in the belief that drug addicts can't be relied upon to prioritize the club's interests. These rules extend to specific scenarios too. In his book, Hells Angel, Sonny Barger notes that smoking weed or even cigarettes is banned during meetings, preserving focus and discipline. Additionally, if members are under parole, probation, or subject to drug tests, they're vigilant to ensure no one spikes the booze, preventing unexpected inebriation and its consequences. Reflecting their pragmatic approach, the club had once outlawed rip-offs in drug transactions, known as drug burns, to protect their reputation. However, Barger mentions that this rule was eventually dropped, as law enforcement used it as a basis to level criminal charges against the organization too many times. This evolution of the club's rules underscores their ongoing balancing act between embracing their rebellious spirit and managing the practicalities of their existence. Never allow patches to be destroyed. In a 2009 interview with the Duluth News Tribune, investigative journalist Julian Schur shed light on the enigmatic world of the Hells Angels, a subject he spent nearly a decade exploring, culminating in his book, Angels of Death: Inside the Biker Gang's Crime Empire. She highlighted the group's veiled code of honor, noting that it's central to their mystique, secrecy, and security. One well-known aspect of their code is the reverence for their patches. These aren't mere garments. Schur describes the vests as sacred, warning outsiders to steer clear of touching them. Protocols detail specific actions if a member gets arrested, ensuring that the vest is entrusted to a fellow member instead of falling into the wrong hands. The veneration of these patches extends even to emergency scenarios, explained by John Jordan, SMDC Health Systems Manager. Medical professionals were briefed on handling a Hells Angel in distress, learning that the usual procedure of cutting through clothing to access injuries was strictly off limits if it involved a patch. Cutting through a patch was unacceptable, underscoring their deep sensitivity to any form of desecration. Participate in charity events and toy drives. The Hells Angels, often seen as the epitome of the outlaw biker image, surprisingly pledge to advance motorcycling and engage with the community through public events. It might seem improbable, yet as the Belfast Telegraph reports, their involvement often intertwines with charity work. A testament to this unexpected side of their character occurred in 2002, when a British chapter participated in a ride honoring the Queen, raising funds for the anti-bullying charity Kidscape. Across the Atlantic, members in the U.S. take part in holiday traditions like toy drives, making quite an impression. In 2015, as reported by CNBC News, the Hells Angels in Fresno, California, made headlines by camping outside Walmart 5 days before the holiday rush, purchasing all available bikes to donate to a local homeless shelter. Their charitable efforts continued in 2020, when the Stockton Hells Angels rallied to gather donations, aiming to fulfill the wish lists of local families and children, as noted by the Stockton Record. However, not all holiday efforts go smoothly. In 2014, 4 members were arrested following their chapter's Christmas toy drive, according to the Los Angeles Times. Yet, as Matt Yarber of the Hells Angels explained to WAFR in 2018, their heart remains in the right place. A lot of these kids don't have anything. They don't have any presents or anything, and somebody's got to do something. This unexpected blend of generosity and rebel spirit paints a complex picture of the Hells Angels. The club comes first, unconditionally, Dave Shaky. Atwell holds a notorious distinction as the highest-ranking Hells Angel to ever become a police informant, revealing the inner workings of the club to McLean's. He described his full immersion into the life of a biker, where the duty to serve the club consumed his existence. "That was my life," he confessed, encapsulating the all-encompassing nature of his allegiance. The Belfast Telegraph offered further insight into this intense commitment, featuring a biker named Colin who mingled with Hells Angels but never joined. His reason? The sheer devotion required, something he couldn't muster. "The hardest part is knowing how to deal with having a family," he shared. "You always have to put the club first. It's a real commitment. You can't hold down a full-time job, because if the club needs you and calls, you have to be there." Colin explained that neglecting a summons from the club was tantamount to an unforgivable insult, a gesture that wouldn't fly. While having children might grant some lenience, the expectation remained that the club took precedence over everything else, including family and job. For members, other commitments simply didn't exist. The club was the ultimate priority, a demanding lifestyle that only those willing to commit entirely could endure. Through Atwell and Colin's experiences, the image of the Hells Angels' rigorous dedication comes sharply into focus, illustrating a brotherhood where loyalty is the supreme currency. Women have their own set of rules. Ralph "Sonny" Barger, once the president of the Hells Angels Oakland chapter, candidly told the BBC that the motorcycle club epitomizes chauvinism by choice. When asked why they embraced such a stance, his response was simple: "Because we want to be." Women can't be members, but they're still part of the scene as old ladies with a unique code of conduct. An anonymous veteran of 4 years penned an article for South Texas Biker, sharing hard-earned insights from her immersion into the biker world. The crux of her revelation? Respecting their men is paramount, which includes never touching his vest or bike, especially steering clear or leaning against the coveted patch while riding. The list of unspoken rules is exacting. Avoid bossiness, refrain from asking questions or interrupting conversations among men. Don't presume to be part of the inner circle. Maintain a ladylike demeanor, dress conservatively. Refrain from gossiping about the club, and never question the actions of their partners. The bottom line, stay quiet and poised. This glimpse into the life of an old lady underscores the stark expectations placed upon women in this male-dominated domain, painting a vivid picture of tradition and conformity within the Hells Angels world.